Have you ever noticed how we tend to get things backward? Most of us wildly overestimate what we can accomplish in a single day, yet we dramatically, almost tragically, underestimate what we're capable of achieving in just 6 months. 6 months, 180 days, that's the time frame we're going to explore today. We're going to talk about how you can genuinely and profoundly transform your life in the next 6 months. Now, you might be asking, why 6 months? It's a great question. A year can feel like a lifetime away. It's so distant that the urgency just isn't there, making it easy to procrastinate. On the other hand, a month is often too short to see the kind of deep, meaningful change that truly fuels your spirit. But 6 months is the sweet spot. It's the perfect intersection of opportunity and urgency. It's long enough to build incredible momentum and witness massive results. But it's short enough to keep that fire in your belly, to stay excited, focused, and engaged. Isn't that an interesting thought? You know, what truly fascinates me is a simple, yet staggering, observation about human nature. Most people will invest more time and energy planning their next 2-week vacation than they will in planning the entire trajectory of their lives. They'll spend hours, even days, scrolling through hotel reviews and flight comparisons, but won't set aside a mere 30 minutes to design their own future. When you stop and think about it, isn't that just incredible? But you're different. The very fact that you're here listening to this tells me that you're not most people. There's a voice inside you, a whisper or maybe even a roar, that knows it's time for a change. It's time to become the architect of your own life. So, let me ask you a question, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. If you continue on the exact same path you're on right now, doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, running the same patterns, where will you be 6 months from today? Will you be in the same job, with the same income, wrestling with the same problems, and leaning on the same old excuses? Because here's a truth that can be hard to swallow. What you don't change, you choose. Let that sink in for a moment. Inaction is a decision. Stagnation is a choice. The profound beauty of a 6-month plan is that it injects your life with something I call realistic urgency. You can't afford to procrastinate, because 180 days will evaporate before you know it. Yet, you also have a runway. You have enough time to make substantial, life-altering changes. It's the perfect, powerful balance. Now, let me share with you the fundamental principles of this transformation. You see, success always leaves clues. It's a trail of breadcrumbs waiting to be followed. And over years of study, I've discovered that extraordinary achievement isn't about doing 0 different things. It's about identifying a vital few, maybe 6 or 7 core disciplines, and doing them 0 times. Repetition is the mother of all skill, and consistency is the undisputed father of success. So, let's begin with the first and arguably most crucial key to your 6-month transformation: clarity. You must be crystal clear about what you want to achieve. Vague, fuzzy goals will always produce vague, fuzzy results. It's a law of nature. Sharp, well-defined goals, on the other hand, produce sharp, well-defined results. Write this down and stick it on your wall. Clarity is power. When you gain absolute clarity on your destination, the universe has a funny way of clearing a path and revealing the roads you need to take. Isn't it interesting that most people are experts on what they don't want? They can give you an exhaustive list of everything that's wrong with their lives, their job, their finances, their relationships. But ask them to articulate what they do want as a replacement, and they often stumble. Their language becomes vague and uncertain. This is where your journey begins. Tonight, I want you to take out a clean sheet of paper or open a new document and write down, with breathtaking specificity, what you want your life to look like 6 months from this very day. Don't just write, "I want to be happy." That's a wish, not a plan. Define what happy looks like in tangible terms. For example, in 180 days, I will have increased my monthly income by 40%. I will have read 12 books that expand my mind. I will have lost 20 pounds of fat and gained 5 pounds of muscle. I will have launched the website for my own side business. Do you feel the difference? One is a daydream, the other is a destination. This brings us to the second key, your philosophy of life. Your personal philosophy is the operating system of your mind. It's the framework you use to process everything that happens to you. And here is the essential truth. It is not the events of our lives that shape us, but our beliefs as to what those events mean. It's not what happens that determines your future. It's what you do about what happens. It's not the direction of the wind that determines your destination. It's the set of your sail. Let me share something truly profound with you. Success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural, predictable consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. But here's the dangerous flip side of that coin. What is easy to do is also easy not to do. It's simple to read 10 pages of a life-changing book every day. But it's also simple not to. It's easy to save 10% of every paycheck. It's also easy to spend it. Your philosophy determines which path you choose in these small, daily moments. Next, let's talk about the third key, a force so powerful it can accelerate or derail your entire journey, the power of association. Here is a principle you must etch into your mind. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Read that again. Over the next 6 months, you must become a conscious curator of your inner circle. You have to be deliberate about who gets your time and energy. Some people, as you may have learned, need to be loved from a distance. You see, on your journey to success, you will primarily meet 2 types of people. Those who inspire you and those who tire you. Those who lift you up and those who weigh you down. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to systematically increase your exposure to the inspirers and dramatically decrease your exposure to the tirers. It really is that simple and that critical. Let me tell you something fascinating about human potential. Research suggests most people are operating at a mere 20% of their true capacity. Why? It's not a lack of talent or intelligence. It's because they haven't made a deep and unwavering commitment to excellence. They are simply trying to get through the day instead of actively getting from the day. The difference between those 2 mindsets is everything. This leads us to the 4th key to your 6-month transformation, the discipline of documentation. Starting today, you must become a serious student of your own life. This means keeping a journal. It means tracking your progress. It means documenting your insights, your failures, and your breakthroughs. Why? Because the slightest, most subtle adjustments in your daily routine, when tracked and managed, can dramatically revolutionize your life over the course of 6 months. Let me give you a tangible example. If you commit to reading just 10 pages of a good book every single day in 6 months, you will have consumed 1,800 pages. That's the equivalent of 6 or 7 entire books. Now, honestly ask yourself, do you think your life, your perspective, and your knowledge would be different if you absorbed the concentrated wisdom from 7 carefully chosen books over the next 180 days? Of course it would. It would be a game changer. Here's another principle that will serve you for the rest of your life. Success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. Therefore, over the next 6 months, your primary focus must be on your own personal development. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Your growth is the catalyst for everything else. The fifth key is one that separates the amateur from the professional: the power of investment. I'm not just talking about investing money in the stock market, although that's important. I'm talking about the single greatest investment you can ever make: investing in yourself. Here's a formula that has stood the test of time. Formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. Let me ask you, how much have you invested in your own growth and development in the last year? Most people will drop $100 on a dinner and drinks without a second thought, but will hesitate and agonize over spending that same $100 on a book, a course, or a seminar that holds the potential to change their entire life. Isn't that a curious paradox? Over the next 6 months, you must commit to investing in you. Whether it's books, online courses, weekend seminars, or a personal coach, make the investment. Remember, if someone is already where you want to go, it means they know something you don't. Invest in learning what they know. This flows perfectly into our sixth key, the secret weapon of all high achievers, the miracle of incrementalism. Small, seemingly insignificant improvements, when applied with relentless consistency, produce massive jaw-dropping results over time. This is the magic of the compound effect. Let me show you how the math works. If you were to improve yourself, your skills, or your projects by just 1% every day for the next 6 months, you wouldn't be 180% better. Because of the power of compounding, you'd be exponentially better than when you started. What fascinates me is how most people are sitting around waiting. They're waiting for the perfect moment, or for some big, dramatic event to catalyze their transformation. But life and success simply do not work that way. Success is built on 1,000 tiny, unseen decisions made correctly, day after day, week after week, month after month. It's the daily grind that creates the overnight success. Let me share with you the seventh key, which ties all of this together: the power of audacious goals. Now, I know you've heard about goal setting before, but I want to offer a different perspective. Most people set goals that are far too small. They set goals based on what their rational mind thinks they can achieve, not on what their heart and soul truly desire. Over the next 6 months, I challenge you to set goals that scare you a little bit. Set goals that make your heart beat faster. If your goals don't intimidate you, they aren't big enough. But here is the secret to achieving them. You must break these enormous, scary goals down into small, daily, and weekly activities. Success is never about what you do occasionally. It's about what you do consistently. Your big goal is your destination, but your daily actions are the vehicle that will get you there. And finally, let's talk about something most people completely overlook: the invisible force shaping your behavior every single day. The power of your environment. Your environment, your physical space, your digital world will either inspire you or expire you. It will either fuel your growth or foster your stagnation. Kindness and wisdom designer of your surroundings, shaped that CLEG nigh in your workspace. Unsubscribe from negative email lists. Unfollow social media accounts that make you feel inadequate. Curate a space that breathes life into your ambitions. So, there you have it. 6 months. A handful of timeless principles. The path is simple, but it is not easy. It requires clarity, a resilient philosophy, a supportive network, diligent tracking, a commitment to self-investment, the patience for small gains, and the courage to set big goals in a nurturing environment. The next 180 days are going to pass whether you take action or not. The question is, who do you want to be when they're over? The choice, as always, is yours. Let's start with the space you inhabit every single day. Take a look around you. Your office, your home, your digital desktop. Is it a source of energy or a source of chaos? Your environment is a mirror of your mind. So, clean your office, organize your home, curate a physical and digital space that energizes and inspires you, a place where your best self can thrive. This leads to a principle that fundamentally changed my life, and I believe it can change yours. It's this: you can't change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. Tonight, in this very moment, you can make a series of small but powerful decisions that will completely alter the course of your life. And I promise you, 6 months from now, you will look back on this day with overwhelming gratitude that you did. I want to share something powerful about how you'll make this journey. So many people believe they are stuck because of a lack of resources, not enough money, not enough time, not enough connections. But success is rarely about resources, it's about resourcefulness. It's not about what you don't have, it's about what you do with what you do have. Over the next 6 months, I urge you to shift your focus from what's missing to maximizing what's already in your hands. Your creativity, your passion, your unique perspective, these are the tools of a resourceful mind, and they are more powerful than any external advantage. This mindset is the perfect gateway to our 8th key to transformation, and it's a non-negotiable one: the power of your personal standards. You see, your life right now is a direct reflection of the standards you have been willing to accept. Life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you tolerate. If you raise your standards, your life will have no choice but to rise to meet them. Conversely, if you allow your standards to slip, your reality will inevitably drop to that lower level. It truly is that simple and that profound. Over the next 6 months, you must become the guardian of your standards. Conduct an audit of your entire life and ask, where have I been settling? Raise your standards for what you will accept in your health, your relationships, your income, and your personal character. When you declare that good enough is no longer good enough, your entire world begins to transform. Let me tell you something fascinating about human psychology. We almost always live up to, or down to, our own expectations. If you expect little from yourself, you will achieve little. If you expect greatness, you will strive for greatness. So, over the next 6 months, raise your expectations. Demand more from yourself than anyone else could ever possibly demand from you. But do it from a place of love and belief in your own potential. This brings us to the 9th key, which is all about embedding those standards into your daily life. The power of rituals. Your life today is not the product of things you do once in a while. It is the sum total of your daily rituals. What you do every single day matters more than what you do once in a great while. Your rituals are the threads that weave the fabric of your destiny. So, over the next 6 months, you must consciously design and establish rituals that support the person you want to become. Here's one simple ritual that has the power to change everything. Wake up just 1 hour earlier every day. It sounds small, but let's do the math. That's an extra 180 hours of focused, uninterrupted time over the next 6 months. That is the equivalent of 4.5 40-hour work weeks. Think about that. What could you accomplish? What skill could you learn? What business could you build with an extra month of work weeks at your disposal? This is the essence of time management. Don't just count the days, make the days count. Over the next 6 months, you must become a master of your time. Time is the great equalizer. We all get the same 24 hours. The difference between the life you have and the life you want comes down to how you invest those hours. Now, even with the best rituals, it's easy to fall off track. We're all human. That's why our 10th key is your ultimate support system, the power of accountability. It's a simple fact of human nature. When you know someone is watching, your performance improves. When you are accountable to another person or a group, you tap into a deeper level of commitment. Over the next 6 months, find an accountability partner. Join a mastermind group. Find a community that shares your ambitions. Share your goals with them. Report your progress weekly. Celebrate your wins together and be honest about your struggles. Here's a fascinating truth about our wiring. We will often do more to avoid letting other people down than we will do simply to lift ourselves up. Use this psychological lever to your advantage. Make commitments to others that you will be inspired to keep, especially on the days when your own motivation wanes. And speaking of those difficult days, it's crucial to talk about the reality of this journey. Over the next 6 months, you are going to face challenges. You will have setbacks. This isn't negative thinking, it's realistic preparation. The key to long-term success isn't avoiding failure, it's developing the resilience to recover quickly. Successful people are not those who never fall. They are simply those who get up one more time than they fall down. Embrace every stumble as a lesson and get back on your feet faster each time. This ability to recover and persist requires our 11th key, a concept so simple yet so elusive in our modern world: the power of focus. I have learned this lesson time and time again. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. Over the next 6 months, you must become laser-focused on your most important priorities. Stop majoring in minor things. Learn the critical difference between being busy and being productive. Busyness is scattered. Productivity is concentrated. And here's a powerful truth to guide that focus. Motivation is what gets you started, but habit is what keeps you going. Don't spend the next 6 months riding the emotional roller coaster of motivation. Motivation is like a hot shower. It feels great, but the effect doesn't last. Instead, focus on building the unshakable power of discipline and habit. Rely on your rituals, not your mood. Your habits will carry you through when motivation leaves you stranded. As you build these habits and make progress, you must incorporate the 12th key, which is the fuel for the journey, the power of celebration. Most people make the critical mistake of waiting until they reach their final, massive goal to allow themselves to feel joy and satisfaction. That is a recipe for burnout. Over the next 6 months, I want you to celebrate your progress, not just your ultimate achievements. Did you stick to your workout plan for a week? Celebrate it. Did you finish a chapter of a difficult book? Acknowledge it. Celebration is not a frivolous reward. It is essential fuel for motivation. It trains your brain to associate the hard work with positive reinforcement, making you eager for more. This brings us to our 13th key, which elevates your journey from mere achievement to true fulfillment. The power of contribution. Listen closely. Success without contribution is the ultimate form of failure. It's an empty achievement. As you grow over the next 6 months, you must constantly look for ways to add value to the lives of others. The more you give, the more you grow. The more value you create for the world, the more valuable you, in turn, become. The secret to living is giving. And here's a fascinating law of the universe that connects contribution to your own prosperity. Your income will rarely exceed your personal development. If you want to earn more, you must first become more. Invest in your education. Develop new skills. Expand your knowledge. As your value to the marketplace grows, your financial rewards will naturally follow. Which leads us to the 14th key, the engine of action itself, the power of decisiveness. I've observed a clear pattern in life. Successful people make decisions quickly and change their minds slowly. Unsuccessful people make decisions slowly and change their minds quickly. Over the next 6 months, you must train yourself to become decisive. Gather the necessary information, trust your intuition, and make a choice. Understand that every decision you make today is carving the path for your tomorrow. The decisions you make over these 180 days will determine exactly where you land. Make choices that your future self will stand up and applaud you for. And finally, our 15th key, the emotional foundation upon which this entire transformation is built. The power of gratitude. In a world that constantly tells you that you need more, gratitude is the radical act of turning what you have into enough. Over the next 6 months, I challenge you to begin a daily gratitude practice. Every morning or every evening, write down 3 specific things you are grateful for. That's a simple practice, but it will generate over 540 documented moments of gratitude. Here's why that matters. There's a fascinating principle of the human mind. What you appreciate appreciates. In other words, what you focus on grows. When you consistently appreciate your progress, you will see more progress. When you appreciate the lessons in your challenges, you will find more wisdom. The more gratitude you express, the more reasons for gratitude will flood into your life. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude with this one final thought. 6 months from this very day, you will arrive. That is a certainty. The only question is, where? The answer to that question is being written today by the decisions you make, the standards you set, and the actions you take. The entire story of your next 6 months is hidden in your daily routine. Remember, life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. And today, right here, right now, you have the opportunity to make the changes that will redefine your existence. Don't wait for the perfect moment. That is the greatest illusion. Take this moment and make it perfect. 6 months will pass in the blink of an eye. You will either be telling a story of action and achievement, or a story of procrastination and regret. The choice is entirely yours. Everything you need to build an extraordinary life is already within your reach. The knowledge is available, the strategies are proven, the opportunities are endless. The only remaining question is, are you ready to begin? Your next 6 months start now, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Take these principles, apply them with unwavering consistency, and watch as your life transforms in ways you once thought were impossible. Life will pay whatever price you ask of it. If you ask for an average life, it will grant you one. But if you demand excellence from yourself, if you ask for the best, life will deliver. The next 6 months of your life can, and should, be the best 6 months of your life. But it won't happen by accident. It will happen by design. Your design. Take control, take charge, take action. Thank you. Now go and make it happen.